upstairs if you want to come with me, you can. I'm going to do 3 hours.
Right.
There must be trims.
Have a seat.
Oh, Nick. Oh, thanks.
He's really mine. He's
No, they're all.
John, it must be a trim center. I said, here's the boat's gonna sing on the left side.
I'm going to go get my book from the other one.
Get your book.
Everybody inhale.
You sure you don't want to sit there in the sunroom or comfortable? No? Well, I got my doctor from, okay. Have some leave. All right, whatever. Yeah.
It's not Kathy, is it? Huh? Is it? In a long time.
Sorry to see you.
Helen Wall, they used to live next door to the Myersons.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry to see you.
You just, been a while.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai roi lo echsar, binot asher yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yanachaleni, nafshi yishovev, yanacheni v'magle tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam kirelech begitz al mavet, lo yirara ki ata imadi. Shivtecha mishantecha hema yanachamoni. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged tzorirai di shanta vashemen roshi kosiri vaya ach tov chesed yirdifuni kol yamei chayai b'shavati beveit Adonai leorach yamim. I've chanted for you the words of the 23rd Psalm. At times like this, times when we are in search of comfort and strength, we often turn to the psalmists and to our sages. At this time, I wish to invite anyone who wants to recite these words with me to please join me as we say together, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember her. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we will remember her. In the opening buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember her. In the blueness of sky and in the warmth of summer, we will remember her. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember her. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember her. And when we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember her. So long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of us, as we remember Ruth Brdar. To her children, to Brenda and Rad and Lori, and also to John and Lynn and Chris, to her grandchildren, Alex and Bryn, Blake and Cody, to her brother-in-law Mel, to all the members of the family, and to so many cherished friends. We've come together today to remember and also to celebrate the life of your beloved Ruth. We have been taught that birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness, from ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness and from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, from grief to understanding, and from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, but life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage to life everlasting. From the book of Ecclesiastes, these inspirational words: to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under the sun, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to lose and a time to seek, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. Now is the time to speak, as we remember Ruth. Her journey of 96 years began here in Cleveland in 1922. She was the first of 2 daughters born to Ida and Ben Yankelson. Ruth and her younger sister Dorothy, of blessed memory, grew up in the neighborhood known simply as Kinsman. The family, I am told, had their share of struggles. Of course, the Great Depression years, the war-torn years. But Ruth and her family persevered. As a young girl and teen, Ruth loved to write. She even wrote some poetry. She was a lover of books and remained an avid reader throughout her entire life. Following her graduation from John Adams High School, Ruth continued her studies by attending college here in Cleveland. But those studies were temporarily halted as Ruth decided to serve our country in the Women's Air Corps, better known as WAC. As the war concluded, Ruth returned to school and completed her college studies. She was a determined young lady, as she worked part-time as a secretary in order to help pay for college tuition. Ruth met Peter Brdar at a USO function here in Cleveland. A courtship began, and the couple married on New Year's Eve December 31st, we believe 1948. And their union brought forth 3 children, 3 very special, lovely, very different children. Her daughter Brenda, her son Rad, who is not able to be with us today, and her daughter Lori. Brenda, when I asked you to share with me a few words of Mom's best qualities, the things that really grabbed you, I loved what you said. You said that she was always very concerned about social justice. What the issue of the day was, whether it was the Vietnam War or other issues, she was interested, she was concerned, and she'd heard her best to take action. You also described her as a mom and a woman who was generous. She was always generous with her time with you, with your brother and sister, always making sure wherever you needed to go, you got there. In some ways, we call that the chief schlepper, but that's what she did. She made sure you got where you needed to go. You said she was generous in other ways. Brenda, you described your mom as somebody who was happy and able to share her good fortune, whatever that was, financial or otherwise. She was always generous in sharing her time, whatever finances she was able to share. This was something that was important to you and a lesson that she's passed on to her children. And Lori, when I asked you the same question, you described your mom as a woman who was honest and outspoken. And you said that she wasn't afraid to speak her mind. And that's a special gift. When you ask someone a question and you just want the truth, you knew you would get the truth. It might not be the answer you wanted, but you knew you could always rely on your mom to be honest. Lori, you also remembered a mom who was a working mom. Your dad, Peter, was a doctor, and when he had his private practice, your mom would work at home as his bookkeeper. And when you were a little bit older, she worked part-time outside of the house as a secretary. Ruth was fortunate to have 4 grandkids. Alex, who is here with us today, and also Bryn, Blake, and Cody. Alex, I'm told that your grandmother had this bracelet, like a charm bracelet, and on the bracelet was the name of each of the grandkids. She enjoyed wearing this beautiful bracelet. It bared the names of each of you, and I'm sure it brought her much joy and feelings of love and pride. Ruth also enjoyed the company of her dear friend and companion, Abe Gitterman of blessed memory. This was a special relationship for the 2 of them that lasted for more than 20 years. And while she loved her family and her special friend Abe, I was informed that Ruth was also a lover of 4-legged friends. She had a soft spot for cats and dogs. And Brenda and Lori, growing up, you remember that your mom always had some sort of pet in the house, and once you were grown and on your own, Mom always had cats and dogs. She loved them and cared for them like family. Ruth enjoyed music, and she enjoyed dancing. In her younger years, she would love to go dancing. And she also enjoyed, as we mentioned, giving back to the community. She found satisfaction in volunteering for places, especially Workman's Circle. These past several years were more difficult for Ruth, and therefore more difficult for her family. But she received great care from kind and compassionate caregivers and staff at McGregor. And I know that the family very much wants to thank McGregor's for all the kindness, care, and concern that they showed to their mom and grandmother. And so today, we take a moment as we join with the sages of our people as we say, Zichrona Livracha, which means we remember her as a blessing to have had her in our lives. May the memory of Ruth Brdar always be a blessing. Amen. We're taught that words which come from our heart enter directly to the heart. And so at this time, her daughters, Brenda and Lori, have words from their heart that they want to share with us.
just wanted to say a few parting words on a personal note.
Okay. I like that compromise.
'Cause most of you know our family was not traditional. It wasn't idyllic in any ways. And for myself, it wasn't really where I received my foundation. Yet the experience in this family gave me the freedom and challenged me to search and to eventually find my own way. Without a clear, defined structure of what a family should be, the responsibility was mine to learn that on my own and to accept that and to come to my own understanding. And for this, I thank my mother. As I watched her struggle to make sense out of her own life, as I watched her struggle with her own difficulties, with her disappointments, with her regrets, and with her blessings and pleasures, what I absorbed was a sense of courage and the capacity to be direct and willing to face myself with honesty and with compassion. So again, I wanted to say that and thank her for that and wish her well.
Okay, I want to thank everyone for coming today. Some of you had to come from farther away, and there were some who are farther away who couldn't make it today, but we have been in touch with them. Thank you all very much, and I especially want to thank my sister, Lori. For the past several years, she worked very steadily, very closely with the people at McGregor. She, in that sense, she was there for my mom, making arrangements so that everything would go as smoothly as possible once my mom wasn't able to take care of herself. And my family and I always felt very fortunate that Lori was here and that she did such a wonderful job taking care of her mother. Well, we were elsewhere. We've been in Chicago for almost 30 years. No, just over 30 years. Okay, and so again, I want to thank everybody. It's meant a lot that you all were able to come today and share this with us. Our experiences growing up were very different. We were almost a decade apart, and so we learned different things, had different experiences, and I certainly value what I got from both my dad, Dr. Peter J. Brdar, and my mom, Ruth Brdar. So thank you again. Thank you again. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful words. Appreciate it. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all a part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. When you are lonely and sick at heart, go to the friends we knew, and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. Friends, we turn now to the words of the mourner's Kaddish. And as you're able, I invite you to rise. If you wish to join us in the prayer, we invite you to do so as well. And we recite together, Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alma divra chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach leolam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bialma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, huyase shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yamru. Amen. We pray that the Maker, the source of peace, bless all of us with peace and send peace to the mourners, to Israel, and to all humankind. Amen. Friends, just 2 brief announcements to share with you. At the conclusion of our service, the family will receive visitors at Nighttown. For those of you who are not aware, Nighttown is on Cedar Road, just past the intersection of Cedar and Fairmount, and the address is 12387, and they will be greeting you immediately following this service if you wish to join the family. Anyone wishing to make a donation to any charity in memory of Ruth, the family invites you to do that to the charity of your choice. And on behalf of Brenda and Lori and Rad, who was not able to be here with us today, on behalf of the children and the entire family, we thank you for your love and support on this sad but most important day. Thank you.